Yes. So greetings, Emma, on this late summer day. Is it bank holiday weekend in England?
No, not anymore. It was last week, but it's a heat wave. It's amazing. It's like 26 degrees, 27 blue skies. So everybody's so happy when it's like this here
I
because it's been a
know.
terrible, terrible
That's
summer.
right. And you know, great. I lived in Great Britain when I was a college student and stayed on and lived for a while. And as I traveled in the north into the Nordic countries and then came back to England, I was like, wow, what a perfect climate for sauna. And there was at that point, this is 30
Yeah.
years ago, there was quite a disconnect. But
Hmm.
you know, we could dive right
Where did
into
you study?
things.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
studied in Southwest London, and
Oh, okay.
I lived in Shepherd's Bush for a while. So whereabouts are you?
North London, next to Hampstead Heath.
Okay.
So as it goes, I'm really lucky because I have the ponds on the heath, the wild ponds that are unheated, and I have an unheated Lido, beautiful Lido, which has now got a sauna on the side of it,
And what
which
is
is
for listeners,
actually a
what is
very
a
interesting.
yeah, what is a Lido for listeners? What explain for that?
Oh, okay. A Lido is a open air public swimming pool.
Beautiful. And
I don't know.
there's a sauna there, is that right?
There is. I mean, it's quite a basic sauna
Mhm.
for the likes of sauna aficionados, but it's a start because, as you were saying, it's very new for us, the kind of sauna culture that you're used to or that I've experienced in the book. Like, for example, in my sauna at Parliament Hill Lido, you can't pour any water on the rocks. And the message says that if you do that, the sauna will catch fire. So
That's I know.
pouring
Yeah.
water on the fire makes it catch fire, but
Yeah,
never
that
mind.
well, some things do translate across the big pond, Emma, and we have similar signs at health clubs and municipal uh, saunas here. And I think they're written by the maintenance director who just doesn't want to deal with things, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. But it's packed. It's sold out every weekend session. There's a queue around the block to get in there now. And you have to buy a ticket for an hour. You're only allowed an hour slot
Mm,
because it's too busy. And
wow.
people are all standing, and it's like we say it's like the pub, it's like the pub in terms of the atmosphere, but um everybody's not drunk,
Yeah,
which
right
is
on.
which changed.
It's probably not an easy answer, but an easy question for me to ask is what do you think is driving the queues and the interest in the sauna?
Definitely at the Lido, it's the swimming and the sauna combined. So, the cold swimming thing kicked off probably about just as we were going into the pandemic, and then post pandemic, it went, it became stratospherically popular.
Right.
But lots of people, the guy in charge of the Lido was I interviewed him recently, and he was saying that he finds a lot of bathers are coming to try cold swimming because they know there's a sauna. So
Mhm.
it's now the combination, and lots of the cold swimmers who I'm one of them. We now all go in the sauna. We would have swum anyway, but with the sauna, it's an extra bonus. But it's definitely a gateway to getting people into the Lido.
Beautifully said. Agreed. Do you tell us about your practice at the Lido specifically? I mean, do you cold swim first? Do you hit a hot round first, or how does that routine work for you?
Well, it's funny because I tend to go, I know, as you would probably say, there's no right or wrong, you do whichever you prefer. But I prefer to go cold first and get it over and done with, and
Mhm.
then go into the warmth.
A
And
a
then,
little bit like my friend Tom says, you have to earn it. Like it's almost like if you
yeah,
go work out and then maybe have a cocktail after, you know, you've done your
yeah,
work.
exactly.
Beautiful.
And you can do the swim, and then you know that you've got the security of knowing that you can go into the sauna to warm up.
Mhm.
Means that for me, because I'm not particularly hardy or anything, and I'm not trying to do as many lengths as I possibly can in the cold water, I'm not trying to push myself. but it makes me stay in a little bit longer each time because I get a bit braver. So I think, well, you know, I can get a bit colder because I know I can warm up more quickly.
Well said. I can relate to that. I mean, we have Minnesota where I live. The ice can get a meter, 2 meters thick in wintertime. And well, let's see, about like 3-4 feet. Are you guys on meters or feet over there? I keep getting it
We're
mixed up.
both, but we're meters officially, but some people still do feet.
Okay, like old school guys like myself with gray hair. But anyway, we have very thick ice, and there's a vanto, I mean the hole in the ice, and people are cold swimming, and there's clubs, and I'll meet you at 4 o'clock and stuff. And I've done that quite a bit. But I, am within a mile of my house, and I have my sauna idling away at about 160, 180 Fahrenheit. And that's what I wouldn't be able to do it without. I suppose I could discipline myself to be thinking subconsciously, the heater in my car works, the heater in my car works. But yeah, to have a sauna on site with ice cold plunge sure helps psychologically, if not physically.
Yeah, it does. But it's amazing how tough some of the swimmers in the UK are, because they do it there's no sauna. They just wear a big dry robe coat and have a flask of tea, and that's it.
Yeah, the tea is their medicine.
Yeah, the tea
Emma,
is the medicine.
Yeah, let's talk about your book. And it's great to see you on camera. I'd like to get this camera thing working so it goes back and forth to whoever's talking. I need an IT specialist in my production world, and yet Sauna Talk is it was always on the sauna bench until the pandemic hit, and then everybody was taking solo saunas, but it really opened up the avenue for me to do interviews just like this. So I'm really grateful that technology is allowing me and I'm on an island in northern Minnesota right now, and you'd think it'd be quite remote, and it is. I mean, we have no cars, and distance from mainland and that, but I feel connected to you right there in Hampstead in London. So thanks for being a part of Sauna Talk. And I want to
I've listened to lots of your podcasts when I was doing research for the book. So it's good. It's great to be on.
It's great to have you, and thank you. Tell us about the origins of the book. I mean, let's wind the clock back a little bit here, and the impetus for it, and how you kind of framed it up in your head and made it happen.
So it started back in 2016. I went to Finland to do an art story for Wallpaper magazine, where I work a lot, and I ended up, after we'd done the whole day of work, in the sauna with the artist next to a lake, drinking some beers, the usual scenario that you're probably familiar with. And I just thought, my God, this is really great. I wish we had this. But I knew that was a million miles away from the UK at that point in time, like 2016. So but I wanted to do it. I came at it from a visual angle. I wanted to do a kind of architecture design book about sauna, because I'd seen all those beautiful, oxblood cabins on windswept places in the middle of nowhere with just a little curl of steam. And I just thought, my God, they're so beautiful. And so I connected with Maija through somebody in Helsinki, and we met, and we sort of said, should we do this book about sauna? And she was like, yeah, sure, I'll shoot some stuff speculatively. And I said, I'll write a proposal. And we did that, and we got rejection after rejection after rejection. Everyone was like, that's too niche, that's too obscure. And then the pandemic happened, and the cold swimming had also, in that time between, from 2016 onwards, really taken off. And then the idea just hit the right note with one of the commissioning editors. And so it also, in that time, Finland had got its UNESCO listing, Finnish sauna culture, on the intangible list of cultural heritage traditions needing to be protected. So that was another impetus. And that we then got our commission, and we worked out our routes. Really
beautiful. Thank you for that background. And I am privy to an advanced copy of your book, and read through it. Like, it was one of those where wow, this is speaking to me, and I couldn't put it down type things. And I just planned to read it casually, and yet I found myself reading it at my desk because I wanted to have a notepad at hand. Specifically, early in the book, you get into the health benefits, and you define them really beautifully and simply with a heading, explanations, an interview with a research professional, little summary statement. Was that key for you to really focus on the health benefits and have that as a cornerstone or a component of the book?
That was central because the publisher Welbeck, they specialize in health books. So it wasn't the design, architecture, aesthetic route. It had to be written from the health perspective primarily. And so for me, that was where I had to do a whole lot of research because that was not my area of expertise at all. But it was really interesting, going through, finding out, uncovering things about heat therapy generally, from saunas to baths to hot tubs, and then the hot with the cold, and the impact that this has, a proven impact on our cardiovascular systems, strengthening our cardiovascular systems. And it then, given the state that we are in the UK anyway, in terms of our health service, anything that can help people take care of their own health, it seems to me to be a good idea at this point in time.
Yeah, right on. And so very, very timely, and you hit some nails right on the head in terms of breaking up the health benefits into, well, there's mental health benefits, and you touch on those, the physical health benefits. You mentioned cardiovascular, and you were able to reach the sources of global sauna research. You referenced Dr. Jari Laukkanen's work is really the cornerstone, and spinning off from that, and Dr. Charles Raison is referenced in the book. So I wanted to give a call out to that. Is there, as you kind of think about these health benefits, is there one thing that, like, say you were to run into somebody on the tube or in the pub and mention about your book and stuff, and you're approaching Golders Green tube stop, and it's like, I can only get 30 seconds or 20 seconds in, which one or two of the health benefits, or how could you summarize it for somebody on the tube where you just happen to bump into them about health benefits of sauna?
I would say it's really, really good for your heart and your blood pressure. So it makes all your blood flow around your body really speeds it all up. So it functions better. You get more oxygen into all the parts that might be a bit sluggish, and your heart beats faster, which is a good thing because it's like taking exercise,
yes,
but it is.
And then in cold plunge, I mean, can you hear your heartbeat when you're immersed yourself in cold water, how it just slows down? Almost like, wait a minute, I'm still here. You don't just slow down to nothing, right?
So interesting, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
The way our body just changes so much between the two temperatures.
Yeah, right on. And the trip, the voyage, were there multiple trips to Finland in terms of research and your journey and other countries? Can you tell us about your journeys over there?
So we started in Finland because Maija, the photographer, is based in Helsinki, and we did 10,000 kilometers in her van. Not necessarily all of those were together. She went to Sweden without me, and to Lapland, unfortunately, I couldn't get there. But together we went around Finland, and we went to Estonia and Norway, and she came to the UK, and we had the best. It was the best assignment, really. We didn't know each other before we started the book. We'd never worked together. So we were both kind of taking a punt. But being Finnish and having a sauna in her house, and having a tent sauna, she knows what a proper sauna is, unlike me, who had no idea. So we would both research, but then she would kind of give an assessment on what was a good lolu, or what was whether a sauna, the various aspects that when you're like you and a proper sauna person, you know what to look for to what makes a good
Well,
sauna.
especially for a Finn, because I think it's a population of what, 5.5 million people, and also 5.5 million sauna experts.
Yes, yeah, yeah, or maybe even more.
More experts than people than population, but yeah, they're very quiet, humble, wonderful people. They'll look at your shoes while they're speaking with you, as the joke goes. But when it comes to sauna, boy, open up, right?
Open up, exactly. And Maija, in Maija's case, like strip off and get the job done. So she
Beautiful.
would just be, you know, unashamedly, she'd get her cameras out, get the lenses on, put it in the sauna to warm up, but so it would start steaming. She'd worked out how long she could leave her camera in what at various temperatures, and then she just ripped off all her clothes and she's straight in there. And
Yeah.
there's me from
Yeah.
the UK.
Yes. Timid.
I
Yeah.
couldn't take the nudity.
No.
I
Well,
kept losing my pen, my notebook, my phone, everything because of Sauna Brain.
yeah, Sauna Brain. We talk about that in email, or is it in the book? I think it's in the
Oh,
book,
I
isn't it?
mention it in the book. I mean, it's something somebody at the Hackney Community Bards coined as that feeling you, but I don't know if it's a real thing, but that's
Oh,
what we
it is a
call
real thing, and I love that. I almost would love to collaborate on an article on Sauna Times about Sauna Brain. That is something very deep. Hey, Emma, that could be its own book in a way as this thing evolves, because I love Sauna Brain. I
Yeah.
think Sauna Brain extends when you sauna regularly and stuff. I think Sauna Brain becomes part of who you are. I have Sauna Brain 24/7, and
Lucky you.
yeah, but it comes at a bit of a price, like at the grocery store. You know,
Yeah.
Sauna Brain doesn't fit in driving through Minneapolis. Sauna Brain, and I've evolved into Sauna Brain is who I am, I think.
I'm jealous. I want to be in Sauna Brain.
Well, I think that's the title of the article, Emma. You up for
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I'm up for that one. Definitely more research needed. But the problem that but the thing that I found difficult was that obviously Sauna Brain would appear and I'd be having to try and remember everything. So they
I
were
know.
kind of working against each
They
other.
work against each other, but they take you to a higher plane. And I think if we allow Sauna Brain in our lives, it takes us to a place that isn't a place we normally are, and it really, for me anyway, it really opens up some very insightful approaches to living. I mean, just insights on how things are connected.
So is it for you a bit like meditation? No,
It could be.
sort.
It's
Yeah.
one of those non-defiable. That's why I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
for an article
Mm.
where we could dive
Yeah,
into it a little
yeah.
bit further. The word mush comes to mind. There's a little bit of a
Yes.
mush to it, where there's things
Yeah.
are opaque,
Mm-hmm.
but also very vivid in a different sense. Like I have
Yeah.
had some of the most great, breakthroughs of thought on the sauna bench between rounds, where it's like, why didn't I think of that? Like these aha
Yeah.
moments of, I often call
Mm-hmm.
that like untangling the wires in one's head. I mean, you go to sauna and there's so much going on in your head of just living, just stuff of life,
Mm-hmm.
and you throw water and you kick back and you let that steam ride through you, and then all of a sudden, for me anyway, I feel like I'm able to pull a wire out of my head and
Yeah.
just coil it neatly on the sauna bench and say,
Mm.
that one's over. Now what
Wow.
else is up there to be dealt with?
Mm.
So
Mm. It's like you don't sweat the small stuff, to make a corny joke, but
no,
yeah, I guess
right.
you can have those moments of clarity where you see the bigger picture. Or and the thing that's nice about it is you can kind of anything goes really in terms of conversation. You can be monosyllabic or silent, or you can talk a lot, or you can talk to strangers and then never see each other again, and that's fine.
Mm.
There's no, or you can have a big heart to heart with someone there. It opens up conversation in load easily in lots of different ways that is quite unusual, I think.
I agree. I'd love to touch on that. And I have two saunas in my one in here at the island and the other in my backyard. So I'm very used to a filter with who I sauna with. And, since pandemic, during pandemic, it was a lot of solo sauna. But now that the public sauna action is happening, and we have a similar movement in the US to what's happening in the UK, and you find yourself on the sauna bench with strangers, and there's certain types of people, and everybody's different in that. Some are very comfortable with that silence on the bench, and then others feel a need to fill a void with conversation, and they're more comfortable talking through things. And I think I'm half Italian, so maybe I'm in that camp. But but I mean, talking with strangers is cathartic for a lot of people. But but to your point, what I love about sauna, and when you're blasted with that steam, sometimes when conversation is a little bit heavy, and I'm sauna meistering or hosting and stuff, I'll blast the shit out of the rocks just to force everybody to center themselves and quiet, folks. It's steam time, right?
Yeah, because it's hard to talk when when that lolu is like going through your eardrums and up your nose, and you just like, oh, everything I was saying is just gone.
The lolu wins at that point.
Lolu wins. Yeah.
Did you find that in as a custom in Finland, that when water is tossed on sauna rocks, it's that moment of silence? Or did you notice that in your travels with sauna?
Yes, I did notice that. And I also was told that by Maija, because she and her husband, they go to their sauna in their house and they don't speak to each other in their sauna. No.
Wow.
So I know that the Finnish way is to, and my husband actually in Helsinki got told off by someone.
I know. I've been told off too.
Talking to this person too much. This person was like, even when we're coming out of the sauna, you're still talking or something, he said.
I know. I got lightly reprimanded myself. And I think a lot of it for me was the enthusiasm. I mean, this is a podcast about you and about your book. I just have to say that I related so much to your travels. Like, I felt I was with you on that journey. And some of that has to do with how it paralleled a journey that I had in revisiting spots that I had been 30 years previous. I'm almost embarrassed that so much time had gone between my college youth, my days of youth, where I was hitchhiking and backpacking and stuff, and then 30 years later, in 2019, I went to 50. I partook in 50 saunas in 12 days, and I was just like a madman of adrenaline. So I got energy from the experience and visiting with others. But I think part of the pace was being able to quiet myself on the bench as well.
And that was in Scandinavia, Finland.
All Finland, yeah.
All Finland.
Yeah, which is easy. I mean, you could you could hit a golf ball 3-4 times and hit 50 saunas in Finland, but but I did travel.
Tampere.
Yeah, right on. Right on. Was Tampere a great spot for you? If you had to kind of distill your travels like into one or two, maybe you get asked this quite a bit. I don't know, but tell us, as you revisit your journeys and discoveries of a sauna or a place that kind of stands out for you on a personal level.
There are two, and there's this kind of sauna war going on in the UK, which you might have read about, between Finland and Estonia, as to who's kind of claiming the turf in terms of the UK sauna scene. And the truth is that both here, it's a melting pot of ideas from Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Finland. Anything goes. But one of those was in Finland. We went to near Jämsä, up in the middle of Finland, and met an old guy who was like in his 80s, who built 5 saunas on a peat swamp out of driftwood and things he'd found in the swamp. And incredible. And he cycled 7 kilometers to meet us, towing a big trolley full of water. And he was in his 80s, and he looked like he was about 60. And he, 5 saunas a day, and he had a peat swamp outside, and we all jumped in the peat swamp and then back in the sauna, and it was amazing.
And where in Finland was this, Emma?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It was called Kila is the name of the sauna, and it was in the middle of Finland,
Okay.
about an hour from Jämsä.
Yep. Okay.
Jyväskylä area.
Sure. Yep, I got it. Central Lakes region, right on.
Central Lakes region. I
Beautiful.
mean, beyond that.
Yes, that's all we need.
Driving.
And speaking of Central Lakes region, did you the Smoke Sauna Village? Did you sauna there? Did you go there and immerse yourself at all?
We photographed some of the old saunas, and we had a really interesting tour there, but we didn't sauna there. No.
Yeah,
I think we were on the wrong day.
Right on. Same. I've been there twice, and I have not sauned there, but that's okay.
Oh, you haven't? Ah, okay.
Yeah, but it much the same story as you. It was almost better because I caught it. I was there when workers were there, and to me, I love that. It's like I love the back end of things. Like behind, I want to know. I enjoy behind the curtain as much as in front of the stage, and to learn about their commitment and what they're doing, and to preserve the cultural history of smoke sauna in this this village. It's a village of and just for listeners, this is in the central part of Finland. It's quite near Harvey World Headquarters. Could probably ride a bike to Harvey World Headquarters. It's not too far, but yeah. So what you have are a bunch of originally built smoke saunas that have been relocated to this one place, this one spot, and so it's authentic as authentic can get. And a lot of them are farm saunas. I mean, this is like off the rural lands. Yeah, so those that are into the anthropological history and architectural history of smoke sauna. Yeah.
War saunas. There's a couple of war saunas in there that were used on the front, and the troops would wash and delouse their clothes, and
right.
It was so interesting.
Yeah.
How that would be the first thing they'd build when they kind of made their base camp, would be a sauna. Makes sense, obviously, but
it makes sense to you and I, but you'll be like, wow, these Finns, man, they're fighting a better war than we are. They're warm and smiling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to the book. It's coming out when, and tell us a link to where people can access and purchase the book. A lot of listeners to Sauna Talk are in North America. If you could give us a little frame that up for us, please, Emma.
Okay, so in North America, well, it's at Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and it's coming out on the 14th of September. And then there are other stockists, but for the US, it is there. And I'm also coming to New York to do a talk at Scandinavia House about the book and about sauna.
Is there a date for that? Do you have a date?
24th of October.
24 October in New York.
Yeah.
And then in the book name and the book title and your full name, so people can search.
The book title is Sauna, The Power of Deep Heat. And my name is Emma O'Kelly, and photos Maija Astikainen. So if you search in Amazon sauna and my name, Emma O'Kelly, it will come up. And it's available to pre-order. And if you pre-order it, not so relevant for you, unless anyone in the US wanted to win a weekend in a cabin, an architect-built cabin with a sauna in the woods, which is pretty much something of a first in the UK, that you can.
Okay,
so there's a kind of lot of,
Americans are eligible for the contest.
I would have thought so. I mean, I can't imagine that it would be something Americans would necessarily want to win, but
I know we won the War of Independence, so this one is just another advantage for us in the global scheme of things. But the book's coming out. It can be pre-ordered on Amazon or wherever you get books.
Barnes and Noble,
Barnes and Noble, and you're coming to America in October. That's so exciting. What else for you with sauna? Like you're bringing it part of your life. Are you on to a different project now, or are you plan more with sauna? Tell us a little bit about what's next for Emma.
Building a sauna, because my husband has become a total sauna fan as well. So now what I haven't kind of said to you is that I started out not knowing anything and not really knowing what to do. And now, of course, I'm totally addicted to sauna. I totally love it. And I was very British in my approach to it before the book, because I just thought it's that thing in the gym that, it's just the steam room's better, and the sauna's the little like add-on at the back of the gym that nobody really goes to, and it's not really my thing, and it dries out my skin and I don't like it that much. And that is what so many British people say, because that is so many of our experiences of sauna. But now with this boom in all the wild spas and the beach saunas and the pop-up horse box trailers, which I think you've is a big trend in this.
Yep. Exactly. Yep, it's happening everywhere. And so you're do you want to tell us about your backyard build? Is it going to be wood fired? I'm sensing it's electric, being that you're in Hampstead, but you let me know.
Well, it's not in Hampstead either. It's in Italy. We have a place in Italy. In Hampstead, the sauna would be the size of my back garden, or my yard, as
yeah, right.
So there's no chance here. But we have a place in Italy, and we've got enough space there, and it's on a lake, so we're building a sauna there.
Oh my gosh.
So we can swim in the winter, which nobody around us, all being Italian, would ever do. They just think we're totally crazy. And I think they'll think that the idea of a sauna is also quite mad.
Well, that's absolutely the fact. A friend of mine wants to make a t-shirt, and it would say something like, they used to make fun of us, but now they all want a seat on the bench. And I can attest to that. And, I built my Minneapolis sauna, and well, my second Minneapolis sauna in 2003 in my backyard. And, after a couple, 3 inches of snow, I'd love to sauna when it snows, and I'd be sitting on the sauna bench, and I'd look out the window, and the snow stopped. So I'd put a towel around me and be shoveling with no pretense to it and stuff. And then I became sort of a laughing stock of my adjacent neighbors, and, this Glenn guy's crazy, and then slowly over time, instead of making fun of me, now they all saying, hey, when are you going to fire up the sauna? So
and so they all want, do you have sauna parties in your at the weekends, like the Finns?
Oh my gosh, I've had some raucous winter sauna parties are better because it gets everybody out of their house, and 30, 40 steps to a neighbor, and you feel like you've been transported to central Finland or something. But anyway, so I'll make you a bet. I think when you get, I know you're going to build the sauna quality, and when good heat is quite contagious, as you reference in your book. So I predict Giuseppe and Alfonso and all of the Italian neighbors are going to be they're all going to be grooving on it. I pretty much have that prediction, but we'll see what time brings for your Italian country.
They're into Aufguss. They were the ones that kind of started the whole ceremonial Aufguss, didn't they? And so our place is on the Italian Alps side, near Milan, but on the other side of Italy, the Dolomites, is much more of a strong sauna culture there, coming up from the Austrian influence. So I don't see where there's a cold body of water, there can always be.
That's what's the simplicity of sauna. And hey, I'm going to send you another invite for a little more chat. Are you up for it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. I'm going to send you a quick thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about the book. And while you're waiting for my invite, think about what you'd like me to ask you. I'd love to touch on things that mean something to you. So we'll pick up on that in just a minute, if that's okay.
I'm just so used to being the interviewer, not the interviewee.
Welcome to my world. So we're going to flip it around a little bit, and I'll send you a quick invite, and we'll chat a little bit more. If you're